I just kind of wanted to add something different into the class, and I knew that Rob liked to dress up as a stormtrooper and as a Mandalorian and as a space ninja or whatever that is. And I thought that would be kind of fun to bring him in to the class without any kind of notice or warning, and just start a spontaneous discussion about all the intellectual property involved with the suit and the costume and everything that goes into that.
It can be taken down, you can file an injunction for it, you can just totally get rid of it. So.
Brother Hales, you've changed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just let you take over from here.
Students reacted well to it. One, just the shock factor, and then two, being able to kind of go piece by piece, element by element, like what intellectual property is involved in the helmet, what intellectual property is involved in the costuming. The question that I pose is, how would you analyze this as a copyright attorney? Or how would you analyze this just as an intellectual property attorney? What things are you concerned about? What are you worried about? If you were representing the person in the suit, what do you think you might get sued about? And then once they get in from that perspective, then they start looking at it with a more analytical eye, and will be more concerned about protecting their client than rather just to have a kind of a general knowledge of the subject. It just becomes more practical, which they enjoy. I think the biggest benefit is they start to look at their own activities online, their own online sales or small businesses that they may have, and they realize that they need to start looking at their own actions through a different lens. They don't understand what the law really is there. So I teach it to them, but I don't think it sinks in until they see themselves or their actions as being a liability down the road. The whole purpose is, you're the lawyer. What red flags do you see? What questions do you have? What do you want to know more about? Or how would you, and I allow the students to interact with the subject, and that helps them too. It's that analytical step of getting the full picture. And that's almost as valuable as doing the analytical side. Like, they need to gather information. And so they ask the questions, then they start to be able to formulate what's right, what's wrong, what's legal, what's illegal, where's the gray area. That's what I want to teach. I want to teach them to ask good questions so that they have the facts, and then use those facts to apply them into the law. They just can't do that without a good scenario, a good real life situation. And that's what this affords. I'd say because it's interactive, it affords them the ability to interact with a real life situation in a non-threatening situation. They're not getting sued, they don't really represent you, but they're put in a situation where they want to be able to formulate questions and ideas. And I think that's the best skill that they can have. It's a zero risk, zero liability at the moment, but they place themselves into the role that I want them. Although I consider myself a pretty good teacher, when I look at course reviews and evaluations at the end of the semester, this is often listed as one of the highlights of the semester. Is one, I think it's fun. Everybody understands Star Wars or Star Trek. Just kidding. I know it's Star Wars. And they enjoy that, but it's also that real life application that they remember. It's been rewarding for me. It helps the students internalize the material, place themselves in a position where they'll be able to better analyze issues. And the learning outcomes, as far as I've seen, the test grades have gone up substantially since I started doing this activity, simply because I think they just get it. It sinks in. It's a difficult concept in the abstract, but when the rubber meets the road, like they can do it with a simulation better. And I think overall, maybe the best benefit is they remember it.